tell me where the Niners got worse, because I'm having a hard time finding that. Debo's coming back. It's a $71 million deal with $55 million guaranteed over 3 seasons. So Debo, who's coming off a year where he caught nearly 80 passes for 1,400 yards, also ran the ball 60 times for 365 yards and 8 touchdowns, is a big-time playmaker in his prime. Now, on defense, the Niners are nasty. They bring back Debo, who's a fantastic big play guy and gives headaches to opposing defensive coordinators. They bring back most of their roster and have a coach who has always been to the cutting edge of play calling, and a team that had a lead in the NFC Championship game. The only big difference this year is at quarterback. And yes, Trey Lance is really raw. And we can fast forward this tape. And we could be at Thanksgiving, and I might look like a complete fool because Trey Lance has imploded with 1 billion interceptions and bad decisions and can't get out of his way, and the Niners are suddenly a 6-win team. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Kyle Shanahan's play calling, if anybody knows how to utilize weaponry in the offense, it's Kyle Shanahan. Look at what he has done with Deebo Samuel. Deebo could have went a million places in the NFL and not had this type of success because an offensive coordinator pigeonholed him. Because a head coach could only see him as one of the many things he could do. I think Shanahan is just going to continue to put Debo in good situations. George Kittle's one of the best tight ends in football. And Trey Lance provides a matchup nightmare, at least on the ground, right? I mean, that's instinctual. That's where your athleticism can take over. And you don't think that Kyle Shanahan's going to whip up an offense that might look like the Lamar Jackson offense of his rookie season, where he really was run first, but it was hard for teams to defend that? I think we're looking at a situation where the Niners are incredibly dangerous. And say what you want about kneeling during the anthem, his politics, etc., but Colin Kaepernick, when he was on the 49ers, different era, different coaching staff, but when he burst upon the scene was really difficult to defend. Extraordinarily difficult to defend because he was too tall and too fast and too strong, and that they were running an offense where the quarterback was more of a collegiate pistol offense where he was a running back first, which is what Lamar Jackson was at the beginning of his career. That is, again, a very difficult defense against in today's NFL. Now, maybe slightly easier because teams have the Lamar Jackson tape and there's more running, agile, mobile quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, et cetera, than ever before. Josh Allen obviously can run. All these guys seem to not only have a big arm, but also good legs. But I just think that Trey Lance will be put in situations to succeed. And as I mentioned last week, the idea that the Niners were somehow game managed to the NFC Championship game, if you get a guy that can game manage or at least just make a couple of simple throws a week, but might bring you a little bit more as well, the Niners should be as good. I'm not saying they'll get to the NFC Championship game and have a lead. What I am saying is I don't see this drop-off. I think that there's only a handful of competitive teams in the NFC for a Super Bowl, and that the Niners are one of them. Obviously, the Bucs with Brady. Obviously, the Packers with Rodgers. Obviously, the Rams, since they're the defending Super Bowl champs. But at 4, I would slide the Niners in there well above everybody else. I feel far better about the 49ers going into the season than I do anybody else besides those top 3 in the NFC. The Cowboys? Come on. The Cardinals? The Vikings? The Saints? The Eagles? I mean, it's slim pickings when it comes to NFC contenders once you get past the big 3, of Packers, Bucks, and Rams. So I would absolutely put this Niners team in there. The fact that they got the Debo deal done means they can now breathe a sigh of relief. And I think this is a very, very dangerous team going into the season.